Hello everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Today I'm going to be trying out a new recipe that I found from a website called Plantwell. I got the recipe shared from Twitter. If anybody would like, you can follow me on Twitter. And I'm pretty sure I shared this one a while back as well. So yeah, I'm going to try it. Basically, it's a very simple kind of sweet potato and peanut butter brownie. So what we are going to do is get our ingredients ready. I've already baked the sweet potato. More accurately, my wife has already baked the sweet potatoes, so they're nice and soft. I'm going to just peel the skin off and then get 2 cups worth measured out. I've already got half a cup measured of cocoa powder, unsweetened, and then 1 cup of peanut butter. You could use almond butter or something else similar. And then it calls for 1/2 to 1 cup of chocolate chips for melting, for pouring at the top at the end. But I don't have any chocolate chips. We're going to use this nice dark chocolate and a little splash of rice milk when we're going to be melting that. But that's just at the end. So to start, let's just get out the sweet potatoes and measure out 2 cups. And then we'll combine these ingredients and I'll show that to you next. So for anybody who hates measuring stuff as much as me, you'll be happy to note that it was about 3 of those sweet potatoes. That is about 2 cups. So you can see I didn't actually smash them yet, so I went a little over the 2 cup mark, but that should be about 2 cups, and that was 3 of the 4 sweet potatoes. So I'm going to put these in here. I'm going to use my potato smasher and get everything mixed up and blended as smooth as it needs to be, and I'll show that to you next. Okay, so this is the consistency we're going for, I guess. Got everything smashed up nice, and I just did a little taste test, and both my wife and I found it a little bit too unsweetened. So I'm going to give it a little splash of maple syrup. You could just as easily add some, like unrefined cane sugar or brown sugar or whatever. And the other thing I think I'll do in future trials with this is I'll probably just use some dates. I'll pre-soak them and then I'll be able to smash them up with the sweet potatoes, because I think that's probably the easiest, and then it's all whole foods and you don't have to worry about added sweeteners. So yeah, I'll use dates in the future, but for right now I'm just going to use the maple syrup. I'll do a little splash, mix it up again, and meanwhile the oven is preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 176 Celsius. So that's already preheated. I'm going to add this, and then we are going to put it in our pan, and I will show that to you guys next. So I've got it spread out in my glass pan here, and you can see it's probably maybe 1/2 inch tall or so with this size pan. I think that's going to be good. I think the recipe called for like an 8x8, but I don't have anything that size, so this should be fine. And just as a quick side note, I just had this kind of feeling come up when I was looking at the bowl here. Just one of my favorite things when I was a little kid and I would help out my mom in the kitchen is I would always love licking off all the little, like little sweet little cookie dough or whatever, she was making, and or like the frosting for cakes and stuff. And just had this like almost like flashback to like when I was a little kid, like eating this stuff. So just as an aside, with making vegan things now, I always feel a little bit safer eating the stuff that's kind of like in prep mode or raw, because I don't have to worry about eggs and salmonella and other things like that. So I just think that's a cool little aside. So yeah, next let's get this in the oven for about 30 minutes. And they said when it's done, you should be able to poke a fork like kind of in the middle, and it should come out clean and not have any the dough stuck to it. So let's do that, and I'll show it to you next. Okay guys, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to check it now. Just took it out. Let's give the old poke test with the fork. See, it's still kind of sticking to the fork. You can see it. I'm going to put it back in, maybe give it another like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. It's definitely getting a nice little crust there at the top, so let's see what happens. I'll give it another 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so I needed about an extra 5 minutes. I did take out the brownies and put them outside. It's nice and cool outside, or well, it's actually really cold. It's probably about 0 or 1 degree Celsius right now. But anyway, so it's cooling off. I let it cool for a little while inside first in the kitchen, and meanwhile I just set this here to boil. So I've got my little pan with water, and I've got this little chocolate melting pan at the top. You can use a double boiler where it's like one pan fits exactly inside the other one. I could have probably used a smaller pan for this, but whatever, it'll be alright. So I broke up my chocolate bar into some bigger pieces, and I'm going to add a little splash of the rice milk. Trying to not crush the box, sorry. And maybe about that much. I don't know, I've never really done this, so yeah, whatever, maybe we'll add a little more. We'll just melt this up and then bring in the brownies and pour the melted chocolate on the top. Okay, so it's starting to melt. I think maybe I just added a little bit too much milk. It wasn't really getting thick like I thought it would be. Maybe I overreacted, but I did add some more chocolate to it. So I had like one more row of similar sized candy bar, not candy bar, sorry, chocolate bar left. It was the same type, and I just added that just to give it a little bit more chocolate. And I'm going to let this go for a little while until it's like really flowy and all the pieces have melted. There's a couple of little pieces still left in here. So I'll give this another minute or two, and by that point the brownies should be cooled off. I'll bring them back inside. I'm going to spread this out on the top here, and we'll put it back outside to cool. I'll show it to you guys in a second. So that's what we look like. Rich chocolatey goodness. Let's put it back outside and let it cool so the chocolate re-freezes at the top. Okay, so everything's all cooled off now. The chocolate at the top is re-solidified. We are going to take a slice out and give it a taste test. The kids can't wait. So there we go, finished product. I think it could probably still have stood a little bit more time to cool off. The chocolate at the top is not fully solidified, but nonetheless, despite that, it is ridiculously tasty and super good. One of my kids doesn't really like it, the other one loves it, probably because it's not very sweet. So I think for anybody with a real sweet tooth, should either use some kind of lighter chocolate, or just add more sugar, or more kind of like a sweetener to the base, like maybe dates or some other kind of sweetener, like with the maple syrup. Just add more. But I think it's great, and it's got a very rich creamy texture. And just want to show you guys what it looks like when you dig in. So that's it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and give it a shot. If you try it and you enjoy it, let me know. Curious what you guys think, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.